Hello, Hodgepodge Mama here. I wanted to talk in this video about staying home with my daughter and why we decided to do this. We struggled with infertility for a decade. We had plenty of time to build our relationship as a married couple, plenty of time to focus on career, on education. And so when it came time to finally have our daughter, we didn't feel like we were missing out on anything. We weren't really sacrificing anything by focusing all of our attention now on raising her and on making decisions that we felt were best for her without it being detrimental to us. So essentially, we wanted to spend more time with her. I mean, we wanted to have children because we wanted to be with them, to spend time with them, to influence them, to build a relationship with them as much as possible. So that's why I'm staying home, and we moved closer to my husband's work so that he could spend more time with her as well. He's able to drive by after work real quick, pick her up for daddy me time. I mean, it's very, before we had an hour and a half commute one way. So we did that. I didn't really have a full-time career per se that I feel like I was giving up. It was always kind of something that I taught adults English as a second language as an adjunct instructor at a community college. And the last couple years, the program began to dwindle and the demographic of the students began to change. Less and less immigrants, more and more international students. And it was not, the work was not as fulfilling as it had been initially. And so it was really just another reason to just let it go and focus on my new job as a parent. Financially, it made no sense for us to continue with me working and then turning all of that money essentially over to quality childcare. So again, I did not want to be working for the sake of paying someone else to spend time with my daughter. I would rather just spend the time with my daughter and have the same financial income into the household. Also, the reason we wanted to have kids, and perhaps different people have different reasons. I think a lot of people have kids just because that's what people do. I don't know that a lot of people really make a conscious decision to have kids. When you struggle with infertility, you do make a conscious decision to have kids. So, and we did. And we considered not worrying about it and not trying to overcome infertility and just staying complete as a family of two. And we decided, no, we wanted to have children, and the reason was we wanted to pass on our values to our kids. We felt that there needed to be more people in the world with our values, essentially. And so we wanted to do that, and we didn't want that to be interfered with by other people. So the pros of staying home are time. I spend a lot of time with her, obviously. My husband spends a lot more time with her than if if we had to we had not moved closer to his work, because we had to move, like I said, an hour and a half away, so one of us was going to be making a commute. The savings, the fact that we have primary influence over our daughter, and we can't blame other people, and we can't really credit other people with how she's turning out for now. Obviously, as she grows up and is influenced more by others, outside of the home, that'll change. But we're building a foundation. And then just the experiences that we have. One thing in particular that we were actually able to capture on film, her first steps. She had been cruising on the furniture. She had been standing unsupported, and one night we were hanging out together, and I said to my husband, grab the camera, get the camera ready, she's gonna start walking. And he turned it on, and she walked across the room to us. That was her first steps, and they were caught on film. And number one, we were able to experience that because we were there, and number two, because we had built enough of a relationship that we were able to intuit that, yeah, there was something big about to happen, right? We didn't get a note from the childcare provider, hey, your daughter started walking today, yay. That would be terrible. And I should mention, we did foster a little girl for almost a year at one point, and I did continue working while she went to daycare, and so I really have that comparison. And and this is obviously the way we would choose to raise our own daughter. The cons are mainly social isolation, both for her and for me. And that is something that I'm starting to work on now. It was very difficult to move to a new area. I had postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. In general, I'm shy and have social anxiety. I didn't know anybody here. We were pretty isolated, but now, I'm better, and now we're able to kind of look around for opportunities, both for her to be around more and more kids, and for me to start making friends again. I don't feel guilty about staying home, and I'll tell you why. First of all, like I said, this is a decision I made with my husband. This is not something that I'm imposing on him, that, hey, I don't want to work anymore, because honestly, this is a lot more work than the job I was getting paid for before. Okay. It was a piece of cake going to work, teaching my classes, doing the lesson planning, doing the grading. Yeah, there was some drama or whatever, office politics, but nothing, and I could leave that at home and leave that and come home. This is nonstop, okay? So this is definitely not a way for me to get off easy. Also, it's not something that my husband's imposing on me, that he's got some sort of archaic gender role views or something, and he doesn't want me to have a career. No, it's something we both thought about the alternatives, and this is what we came up with. Financially, like I mentioned, it makes the most sense for our family. And also, because of our unique kind of family makeup and the values and skills that we want to pass on, it would be very difficult to find a childcare provider who would be able to actually pass down these values and skills to our daughter. Language is, first of all, the first thing. So I speak Polish to my daughter, my husband speaks Spanish to her, we speak English to each other. We also use a lot of American Sign Language. Her first word was in sign for milk. And we would essentially need to, in order to recreate the linguistic experiences that she's having by being home with me, we would need to find a childcare provider who spoke our three languages and used baby signs on top of that. So what were the chances of that? In order to become fluent in a language, a child needs to be exposed to a given language for about 30% of their waking hours. So if we were not able to find a multilingual childcare provider and they would be exposed strictly to English, let's say, there would be a lot of catching up to do on our end on the weekends and in the evening, and it really wouldn't add up, right? We couldn't squeeze enough Polish and Spanish into the remaining waking hours for her outside of that. Breastfeeding is another reason why, not a reason why we stay home, but I don't feel guilty about staying home because I'm able to breastfeed her on cue, nonchalant, very easy. It was tremendously difficult in the beginning, very painful. I had all kind of issues that I will discuss in another video. But once we've gotten past that, after maybe the first 3 or so months, it has been smooth sailing, and I never want to see another bottle of formula in my life. It is so much easier to just put the baby to the breast and not worry about it. And I know people who go back to work and express milk at work, and it sounds like it's just, I mean, that's very dedicated. Kudos to anyone who does that, it's just, I'm grateful that I don't have to worry about that, providing enough milk and pumping enough milk and being away from my child, while I'm pumping the milk and while the baby's getting fed. And it's a lot of work, a lot more to provide breast milk for a child when you're not there with them all day long, is all I'm saying. Baby wearing is another reason why I think it's great that she's been home. I've been able to wear her a lot for different, in a carrier, for different things that I'm doing around the house. I can vacuum wearing her, can walk the dogs while wearing her, line dry some clothes, which I actually enjoy doing that. So I can get a lot of things done like that and keep her safe, keep her close to me. So so we're bonding. I know where she is. I don't have to worry about her running off somewhere. My hands are free. I couldn't expect a childcare provider to do that, especially if it's not a nanny or an au pair and someone who has multiple children that they're watching. So she wouldn't be getting the benefits of baby wearing. I also like the fact that she's had an adult's eye view of the world for, since early on, not like at knee level or whatever in a stroller. There's a place for strollers, don't get me wrong, but also when we're out and about, depending on the circumstances, if we're not going to be going in and out of public transportation or up a lot of stairs, or in a very crowded area, it's a lot easier, it's a lot simpler to just have the baby strapped onto your body and you don't need to worry about lugging a stroller around. But we do have a stroller, we're not anti-stroller people. It's just there's a place for it. And we also cloth diaper and we use elimination communication. So she's learning about the potty much earlier than a lot of kids. She's very interested. She has her little potty. She when she plays with her dolls, she shows her dolls how to potty, changes the dolls' diapers and all those things. So elimination communication would almost certainly not be a part of her everyday experience in the childcare environment. Cloth diapers, I think very rarely is anybody willing to actually mess with. And it's very simple for someone who's motivated to do it like me. But for a childcare provider who has a bunch of kids and they're not all in cloth, and there's not like a very streamlined system in place, she would be going through a lot more disposable diapers than cloth diapers. Now we do use disposable diapers as well, but we minimize that. So for environmental reasons, for financial reasons, we prefer to focus as much as possible on the cloth. And we wouldn't be able to do that with childcare. So finally, we're also preparing to ease the way into homeschooling. One of the main reasons I was looking forward to having children was to homeschool. I love school so much. I love learning. I love education. I love knowledge. And I love teaching. And the idea to spend my days sharing that love of learning with my daughter and finding out what she's into, what she enjoys, and watching her just light up as she's discovering new things, rather than just, rote memorization and like just sticking to a curriculum that's imposed on her by somebody who doesn't know her personally, doesn't know her interests and her skills and her strengths personally. I'm really looking forward to that, and I think being able to stay home with her up until then, it'll just be a natural progression. She's learning right now. All babies learn. All babies are home educated up until they're sent to a formal school setting. So this is just going to be a continuation of what we're doing now. Again, the main concern is social interaction for me and for her, and that's easily, now that I'm out of the woods and I'm feeling better and we're settled here pretty well, that's going to be easy to fix. So all in all, I think staying home has been wonderful. I don't think it's for everyone. I think there are some parents that definitely should not stay home with their children, and I think that would be for the child's benefit, actually. So I don't think this is, our decision is better than someone else's who's working. Not at all. It's the best decision for our family. And I just wish that everybody in this so-called mommy wars would get over that and just realize we're making decisions that are appropriate for our unique circumstances. And if we were in someone else's shoes, we would very possibly make different decisions. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so thank you for watching. This went over a little bit my usual 10 minutes, but it's a big part of my life, my identity, right now. And so I wanted to really share the best parts of it with you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.